Hey everybody, I'm John. I collect cards, and wouldn't you know it, today, about 10 minutes ago, the mail carrier gave me this box, U.S. Priority Mail. It has my first SGC order back, 5-card order. I sent this out on June 3rd, so it was literally just 15 days ago. SGC received it on the 7th. And my gosh, the entire turnaround just for me delivering them, let alone them receiving it, was 12 days, 8 days on their end. And I just sent it in through the regular 25 to 30 day or 20 to 25 day, I think it is, $30 tier. This was my first submission, so I don't know if they gave me first time customer preference in hopes they get more of my business or whatever, but this was a pleasant surprise when I saw the email from SGC earlier this week that they had been graded, and then I checked the site, checked my account, I guess, on there, and saw that it was in the mail. So we have an SGC reveal here, 5 cards. I showed you the cards in my. I'm going to start opening it and try to talk some more to try to speed it up. I showed you what the cards were in my video entitled Vintage Voyage. In the first few minutes of that video, it was 5 cards. They were a 1954 Willie Mays, Tops, of course, or all Tops, a 1963 Stan Musial, a 1967 Hank Aaron, a 1970 Rod Carew, and then a non-baseball card, a 1986 Tops Patrick Waugh rookie hockey. The grades, I actually had to watch a few minutes of the video to remember kind of the grades I remembered, was hoping I'd get, and I vaguely remembered, but I wanted to confirm it. For the Mays, I was hoping for a 3. For the Musial, I was hoping for a 5, at least 5. For the Aaron, I was hoping for a 3. For the Carew, which I believe was probably the best card, I was hoping for at least a 6, actually. That one, sounded like it might have been ambitious, given it was my first time doing this. I'm not sure what I was, I'm not a grader, but I was hoping for at least a 6 on that one. And then the last one, let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, that's the backs. Okay, cool. Pretty cool. I'm hoping the top one, hold on one second, I'm just going to pull it away. I want to make sure the top doesn't give away a grade. I think I feel a sticker. It's probably the Tuxedo Time sticker, which, I kind of want to, show off. Yep, there it is, Tuxedo Time. Cool. The Patrick Waugh, I didn't actually hope for I didn't actually mention a grade on that one I hoped for, but honestly, the edges to me were a little rough on it, and so, not rough, but a little uneven, so I was hoping for at least a 5. The corners were good. So I was hoping for at least a 5 and maybe even a 6 on that one, with the intention to sell that one. The other 4 are purely for the collection, because I'm going to start trying to invest in my own, the collection that I have to a certain degree, where I'm going to try to, because I had bought a lot of raw, almost exclusively raw I've bought over the last couple of years since I've been back in the hobby. I want to start sending in maybe 5. This is 5 here. I'm going to try to do 5 a month. And we'll see what the next one's like, and hopefully it'll continue to be a smooth sailing from SGC. I was again, first time customer. Maybe they gave me a preference, but overall I was impressed. So let's pop this open, and now here's the disclaimer of the video. I couldn't resist, and I know what the grades are. So this is not a blind reveal. This is just a reveal. So if you want to move away and go on to the next video, I wouldn't blame you. But again, given this is the first time I've ever sent anything to be graded before, I got the email from SGC on Thursday about midday or so. There's the entire thing there. So hopefully I don't think it was showing anything off the top, but still very cool. I like that. In fact, I should keep this one for my first one. So you know what? Let's just sort of hang it out there a little bit. So I couldn't resist. By about 8 or 9 o'clock on Thursday night, I you know, I guess it was the end of the day and my willpower was down, my defenses were down, and I just went back. I went over and scroll. If you're familiar with the SGC order site, you could, on your phone, I guess, you could scroll over to the right gradually and eventually reveal the grade for yourself, which I accidentally did it accidentally for the first one. Maybe I didn't, but I'm calling it an accident. I saw it for what May's was, who's on the bottom here. And then I just went ahead and did it for the rest of them. So, you know, so I'm not going to, you know, do any kind of like pretend like surprise or disappointment or anything like that, but I'm going to try to make it as entertaining as possible here for the next few minutes. Hopefully you're as interested as I am in terms of how these turned out. As I do more of these submissions, hopefully I will be fine with just doing the pure blind reveal, but hopefully you could forgive me for the first time submitter that I couldn't resist. I needed to see what they were. So here we go. First one is Patrick Waugh, as you can see, 1986 rookie. Again, I didn't say in my Vintage Voyage video what I was aiming for on this one, but I really, you know, I was thinking of a 5 or 6 actually, possibly, because again, it was a pretty good condition card. So let's see what I ended up getting. Actually, let's see if I can do this. If I can do this the way. Let's see here. All right, there it is there. There it is, and bam, it was a 7. Pretty happy about this one. So, yeah, it is a pretty good card. I guess, you know, you look at it more, and to me, like, the bottom, I thought the bottom maybe was a little uneven in particular, but I guess it was just kind of, you know, natural enough. Pretty good card. The centering's pretty good. It's a little, crooked, so to speak. Like, it's not completely 100% straight, I think, but overall it presented pretty well. So I was really happy with this. You know, now looking at it now and looking at some more like comps on eBay in terms of what's sold recently in this area, it's like it's a certified 7. It's really good. I mean, I was really happy about this one. So there it is, Patrick Waugh 7. Kind of put him along. Well, let's see. The way I have the camera positioned isn't so hot right now, so we'll leave it right there. We'll just kind of go from there. The next one is the Rod Carew. Again, this was the best card of the bunch. Let me real quick just sort of slide that out of the way. Okay, I like how they're all. Actually, this one, for some reason, this is in its own bag. I'm not sure why. The other ones are not, I don't think. Or maybe they do that on purpose so they don't, I don't know. I'm not going to guess as to why they do that, but so the next one is the 1970 Rod Carew. This one was the best of the 5 in my opinion. I was aiming for at least a 6. Let's see what it got. There's the back. It got a 7.5. I was really happy with this. You know, in terms of the value of the 5, this card probably has the least value. But it's a 7.5 makes it a little bit more of an interesting card. I think in terms of comps, it's at least 50 at this point, maybe even closer to 75. Actually, no, I'll take that back. An 8, if it had gotten an 8, it would have, you know, jumped quite a bit into like 1 in terms of like PSA. I look at PSA, you know, their values pages for their sets, and then I look at eBay to see kind of where they're for comparison. But PSA was listing an 8 for this 1970 Carew at about 130, I think it was. And a 7, I think, was 70 or 75, something like that. So, I mean, this might be more like an $80 to $90 card at this point, which I was pretty happy about this. You know, maybe it's even worth more, but, you know, this isn't going anywhere. This is one of these cards here that are coming up were among the first vintage cards that I had purchased 30 plus years ago. So 7.5. I'm trying to think what maybe held it from being an 8. I have to think it's the back, because I think the back is a little discolored. It's got some yellowing on the top here. So if that, you know, I looked at some other ones and, you know, they definitely have the more, you know, pure kind of like off-white, whereas this one's a little more yellowed. But yeah, I knew the gray corners on this were really good in terms of like maintaining the color. There's very little white showing on right down there. Is just a speck of white just starting to pop there in terms of the corner for the gray, but the color on this card was really solid. So I'm really happy with the 7.5. So yeah, 1970 Carew. Put them down there. Got to try not to scratch these too much. Again, I'll take this away now. Just sort of leave it over there. Yeah, I guess these will always be a little special. It's my first submission, but I'm already looking forward to the next one. But the fact that these came in so fast, I'm not going to send the next one out until July, early July. But here's the 1967 Hank Aaron. I was hoping for a 3 on this one because I thought the bottom left corner on the front, this one here, was a little fuzzy in particular, and you'll see it on the front a little bit more. It's also a little off-center left-right here on the back and on the front as well. So here's what I got on this one. Let's see what I got. I got a 4 on this one, and I was actually I would say, I guess the Carew was my most pleasant surprise of the bunch. WoW was a pleasant surprise too. I was very happy that was a 7, at least. This was a real pleasant surprise because I knew it was good, but I didn't know how good. But this one I thought was going to be in the 3 ballpark, maybe 3.5. So I was really happy with a 4, just in terms of value. That's a decent, decent little jump in terms of what comps are for 3s and 4s. But especially, I mean, it's cool to know that I got a Hank Aaron 4, even if it's from '67. It's like, just at the start of the latter half of his career. But this is just a great card. I think this is one of his better pictures, better photos on any of his cards. And I think that's what drew me to it from the very beginning in the early 90s when I picked it up. So here's that soft corner on the bottom left. But I guess there's enough of this card that, the other corners are pretty good. And the paper loss is very minimal, if any, really. So, yep, I'm very happy with this 4. Hank Aaron 67 gets a 4. Okay, the next one is my 63 Stan Musial. This was the first vintage card I ever purchased. Sorry for the lights beaming on it. My old school fluorescents doing their thing. But I guess it helps a little bit for these videos, actually. They kind of help well with the lighting. So this one, I really like this one. I was hoping for a 5 on this one at least. And, it is off center on the back. A decent amount, but the corners are decent, and it has a little bit of color loss on the blue. If you're familiar with the card before I flip it, 63's got the dual, the color bar on the bottom, like quarter or third. There's a little bit of loss there, but I didn't think it was significant enough to really impact it too much. But anyway, let's see what I ended up getting. I was hoping for a 5 on this, and I got a 4 on it. So this was a disappointment, a little bit, not a big one, honestly, not a big one. But I was like, I wish my first one got kind of what I was hoping for. And so what really, so with SGC, you get the seller-ready images that you can look at, and so I looked at those, and they're really actually good quality. Really, you can zoom in really closely on them. So that's a nice added service, and I think it's a recent one from SGC. So, again, this is just a first-time order, but the experience end-to-end was, I don't drop the word fantastic too often, but the service was very good for this. I'm curious to see how the next one goes. So the thing with this Musial, so first off, I never in the Vintage Voyage video, I never did point out, but you probably saw for yourself, the really bad fisheye here probably cost more than, maybe I would have thought, because that is a doozy right there. It's like a bleeding fisheye almost. It's so bad. And I've always known that it was there. But there's a little bit of color loss there. The main thing, I think and I saw it again on the pictures, zoom up close, and I'm not sure if I've ever really noticed it. There's something going on right here in like the background on like where they're, kind of in the seats and stuff. If you could see that, there's something there, right? Oh, right to the left of his ear here. And I think that blemish, in terms of, I don't know if it's paper loss or a stain, I don't know what it is, but I actually never really noticed that before until I saw the zoomed in pictures that they sent back with it in the slab. And I'm like, okay, that's a definite blemish there, no doubt about it. And I looked at the video, that I did of before I sent it in, and I had a picture, of the card obviously too that I took before I sent it in. Yep, it's always been there. So to me that, I think that, and obviously the fisheye hurt probably more than I thought, but that added blemish probably had something to do with it. And again, the back is pretty off center. Overall though, I still really love this card. I will always love this card. and I'm still very happy for what it is. I would have loved for it to be a 5EX, but a 4 is totally fine, and with the other 3 being really happy with how they turned out. In the grand scheme of things, it's really not a huge disappointment. It's not like it was 2 off or anything. So, last one, big one here. 1954 Tops Willie May is an iconic card. The year the Giants won a world championship in New York. Willie was MVP that year, I believe. Number 90 of the set. I was hoping for a 3 on this one. I wanted it to be in the 3 ballpark, but, you know, a 2.5 would have been acceptable, and I would not have been surprised with it. Because there's a really small, I can't actually remember what side it's on. There's a small wrinkle, and I actually didn't mention this in the video, I don't think, before, but there's a small wrinkle on the back, very small. Doesn't come through on the front whatsoever, from what I can tell. And I have a feeling, I was worried that might make it a 2 or 2, maybe not a 2, but a 2.5. SGC does more half grade, so I thought maybe it was there was risk for that. And then this mark up here, which I think is just a printer dot, you know, kind of ink dot of some kind from the printer, was a little worried about that too. But again, overall, the card presents very well on the front, and was hoping for a 3 on this one. But, you know, a 3.5 I thought was a possibility too. So let's see what SGC did for me on this. Try to reveal a little bit better on this one. See if I can hide it. See if I can hide it. Nope. But it was a 3. I was pretty happy that I saw this as a 3. I was like, I almost did like, whew, okay. And you know what? Part of me thought like, okay, maybe you know, I'm no grader and I'll never be one, but maybe my eye is, maybe I've been a little too harsh on myself in terms of these, which is maybe a good thing in terms of, you know, being a tough grader on myself. I mean, I thought that, I had no idea that was going to get a 7.5. I did not think that. I did mention in the video, I said I wouldn't be shocked if it got a 7. I did mention that, but I was aiming for a 6. So really, I was only off on one of these 5 cards. Here's the Willie. It's got some paper loss here. Bit of a rounded corner there. But overall, this is a pretty nice card, and I'm really happy that this came back a 3. So as you well know, probably if you've watched a few of my videos, I'm 2 cards away from completing the 1954 set. I think I'm going to try to send 1 54 card in each like 5-pack that I send in for grading. And so we'll see how it goes from there, rather than sending in a bunch at a time. I think I'm just going to do 1 at a time, along with some others that, you know, I definitely want to send in. And I'll do another video of those that I send in before I send them in, to let you know what they are. And I will try my best to make it a blind reveal in the next one. I can't guarantee that I will, though, but I will try. I hope you enjoyed this little SGC reveal for today. These just 2 all-time greats here. 1 of 3, 1 of 4. Pretty cool stuff there. And then we got 2 more here. Again, this Rod Carew, I was really, really pleasantly surprised that it came back a 7.5. And the Musial, I'll always treasure the Musial at a 4. And then the last one, which actually I'm going to put up for sale at some point, is this Patrick Roy rookie. Came back a 7. Very happy about this one. I was thinking a 5, maybe a 6. So, hope your Saturday's going well. Hope the rest of your weekend goes well. Take care, and I will see you on the next one. Let's arrange this a little better for the end. All right. Take care, everybody.